the March 2025 show with Lill from CMHA. Ashley will be back next month for part 2. We did part 1. It was a great story, Lill. I want to thank you for helping me help set that up for me. I really appreciate it. But this month, I want to tackle a big issue, which I think is kind of coming to the forefront with our country, and that's the rising anxiety that folks are having over all the political storms we see, and just there doesn't seem to be a calming sense anymore. So how can CMHA help us deal with these anxieties that we're seeing out in the world?
Right. And Dave, this is a really good topic because, we feel it. We feel the anxieties that we're experiencing as a result of what we're seeing on the news, a threat to our country, and just general some changes, negative changes overall. The most important thing to do is really remember that we need to take these threats, for lack of a better word, with a grain of salt. We have to not follow the news as much as we have been. All right, because too much news consumption can be very unhealthy, because you have to remember that people want to hear about, the exciting, scary stuff as opposed to all the feel-good information. So that's what you're going to get on the news. You're going to hear the worst of the worst. So limit your news consumption and really take a step back and know that, these anxieties although we're really feeling them and they're very real to us, really are, we'll feel a lot better when things really come to fruition. So
it's important. I always find, like you said, it's so easy because every social media platform, everything you turn on is blaring something. And you and I talk about this all the time, but I mean, have someone to talk to that's not, and don't talk about, maybe it's your partner in life, but don't talk about the world news as it is. Talk about who you are and what you can do in your life. And I think that's critical. And I'm, me, I'm huge on exercise. So getting out for a walk, putting on some music that you enjoy, reading a good book, like all these little things that you can do to sort of help yourself mentally, I find. Because it can be overwhelming. There's just no doubt about it.
It certainly can be, and it is overwhelming. It really is. It's something that we haven't really faced in our country, like for a long time. But it's really important, and I like those points that you made, Dave. I think it's really important to, if possible, not engage in those type of political conversations, especially when you're dealing with opposing opinions. You'll just get yourself worked up, and you really, it really make your anxiety worse. Again, just don't follow it as much as people are doing, and really get out there and do alternate things, like stay away from all that negativity. Get out there and exercise. The weather is moderating somewhat. We did have back-to-back blizzards not too long ago, but the days are getting longer, and there is a scent of spring in the air. You can smell that spring. People think, I don't know, it's kind of out there, but there is that scent to spring and that scent to autumn, right? So get out there and start exercising. Just really take your mind off things, and that's just best for anxiety in general. Just staying and focusing on what's making you anxious, it's just going to perpetuate the cycle. So distractions are good.
Is journaling a good idea?
Yes, journaling is a good idea, because what happens with journaling is what you have in your head, and that is really creating that cycle, right? That negativity and that anxiety and fear. You get it out of your mind, and it goes down on paper, and it's very cathartic. It's a good cathartic exercise to do, because it's just like talking to someone. You have written what's in your mind, your thoughts, down on paper, so you have taken them out of your thoughts onto paper. So it's a very effective exercise for anxiety.
And then you can let it go, which
then
I
you
think
can let it go. Rip up the
Yeah.
paper. We tell people to do that. Write it down, rip it up.
And it's, you and I have talked since the start of the pandemic about anxiety, and you guys have seen a tremendous growth in it, and now we're seeing another surge.
Yes.
Can people just reach out to CMHA, and can they
Of
call?
course. Of course. We have implemented, it's been, oh, geez, almost 2 years now. We have implemented groups and walk in services to increase accessibility. We do have a bit of a wait, not as lengthy as it used to be because we've been working towards clearing up our wait lists. But people that want help more quickly, again, there are groups they can join, and there are also walk in services.
And by not dealing with your anxiety, it can lead to different types of mental health issues, can it
Oh,
not?
for sure. Absolutely. When you don't deal with your anxiety, it just stays in your brain. Those thoughts continue to cycle and perpetuate, and they don't go away unless you deal with the anxious thoughts, right? And it can lead to other things like anxiety can raise your blood pressure, can increase risk of heart disease, just overall malaise. So if you are having those anxious thoughts, please reach out and get some assistance for that.
Big thing I found with people too, and this is just I think with life experiences,
Mhm.
we always don't think the other guy is dealing with the same stuff, don't we? And we
Right.
all are dealing with the same issues to
Sure we
certain
are.
degrees. And I think that's the important part where you once you realize that you're like, oh, I could talk to CMHA, I could talk to
Yes.
Lill, I could talk, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
that's where I think we got to open up a bit more.
Absolutely. And that's a really good point, Dave. People think no one else feels like this. It's just me. I'm the only one that's experiencing this, right? But you're not alone. And there are so many other people that are going through depression, anxiety, and other mental health issues. And all you have to do is reach out and open up. And, there should be no fear in that or shame in that.
Great topic today. Thanks for doing this. I know you got to get back to work, but folks, if you're struggling, we'll make sure the CMHA numbers are at the end here. Give them a call and or talk to someone. It's important that you keep that mental health strong.
Absolutely true.